Welcome to Game Soup, the game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what simmers.
Simmers.
It doesn't.
Sticks. I'm sorry I
I'm
decided to
going
be a
for
pedant
sticks to the
last
side.
week.
It's like that doesn't work as a thing, right? Okay.
I'm sorry I was a kitchen pedant last week.
Yes. Look, one of these days we're gonna just have to sit for 15 minutes and work out what we're actually saying before we start this podcast. But we've started now.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to say your name?
I'm Chloe Montgomery. Who's that speaking to me?
It's me, the kitchen pedant, Kayla Dice.
It's on all of your business cards.
Yeah. You say my name 3 times in a mirror and I show up just to tell you something about cooking, a thing I
To throw croutons at the back
don't
of your
know
head.
much about. That would be the life, just being a gremlin who lives in a mirror.
To be a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So, how's your week been then, KK?
How's my week been? What did I do? I'm trying to think. I feel like I've been writing a lot of Transgender Deathmatch Legend 2. So I've done a lot of that this week. And I had a big money surprise, like as in my universal credit might not be terrible.
Yes, you've got money now. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm
Sorry, government.
not getting kicked out of my flat in January, which is kind of emotionally what I'd been careening towards. So yeah, I guess I'm flying high. I don't know. I feel weird.
Yeah.
I say this every week. I open every week and say I feel weird, and then I feel by like episode 20, I'm going to have to accept this is just who I am.
You just kind of feel a weird feeling person.
Yeah. I tried to drag out my yeah to drown out the sound of me putting coffee down. That's great audio.
Look, I'm just the dedicated editor now, so you can just be a total horror with your noises now. I don't care.
Sonic Warfare is now purely one-sided.
One directional, yeah.
I did basically. I was going to say off mic, but it was very much on mic, which was the problem. But it was off recording. Give the microphone a handy. Right in your ears.
Deafened me. Yeah. See, the audio situation for this podcast is very much asymmetrical because I've got a cheap headset that I think I stolen off someone in the house, and like it only has audio coming out of one side. Meanwhile, Kayla has like a full professional looking setup with boom mics. No, well, not boom mics. Like
I got a mic for podcasting.
Yeah,
for Life Path, which is also convenient because my mic. I used to have a different mic. There's one episode of This Is Your Life Path where the audio is noticeably worse because it was before I got the mic. But it's out of order because we didn't release them in order.
No, you got to go listen to all of them to work out which one's the bad one.
Yeah. And then you've got to write in, and I'll give you a prize, which will be, I don't know, like a firm thump in the shoulder.
A fist bump, perhaps.
Yeah. I remember once, because I used to teach at a school for Greek kids, and like one day when it came up to me and like, how do you say in English like happy month? And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, like when you know it's the first day of the month, you say like happy month to someone. And I'm like, oh, we don't really do that. We punch people.
Yeah, pinch.
Yeah. I shouldn't tell you how to do that though. And if I see you doing that, you're in trouble. And it would be obviously terrible if I was doing it like reciprocating. So yeah, you just say like, don't say anything. Don't acknowledge the month has changed.
Yeah. See, calendars kind of stop being a thing when you're not in a school setting, I think.
Yeah.
Outside of like holidays and stuff.
Yeah, I guess you do pay more broad attention to seasons. I don't know, because I was going to say like, because I feel like the month to month of when you get paid matters.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
But I feel that's the only real reason you notice it's a month or the month cycle.
Yeah. It's like you're counting down your days to the 25th or whenever your payday is, and then...
Yeah.
but it's not like, oh my god, it's March. I hate March because I always have exams. It's like, no, just every day's the same.
Yeah, I guess you just notice more broadly about the seasons. Like January and March aren't meaningfully emotionally distinct.
No. More diets in January, but
Oh yeah. I guess January's got the stench of
being the start of
bad
the year,
false
yeah.
promise.
So, ostensibly, this is a game design podcast. That's what we tell people.
Yes, we have a good average of coming up with games. You
Yeah,
just have to kind of go with us on this awkward freewheeling journey into lunacy first.
look, it would be jarring if it was just welcome to Game Soup. Here's a game.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Game Soup. Counter. It would be that when we did the episode 1 counter free, and then got told to stop cross talking.
It's like you gotta have 5 minutes at the start and you're in a restaurant. You gotta look at the menu. You gotta have a sit. You gotta have a little settle.
Yeah, this is the whining and dining segment.
Exactly.
Do you come here often?
Do you subscribe to us on Patreon? We do not have a Patreon.
No, you still do. Like as a biscuit one, right?
Yeah, we do not use it for anything.
I've cancelled mine because I
See, I
didn't use it.
cancelled mine, but then they started charging you to have one, I think, and then it was
Oh, I
or
should go
like
check
to
it.
have all of the features. So I still kind of have my old before they charge you for all the features Patreon. Anyway,
Uh,
this isn't anything.
no,
Maybe we'll start a Patreon. Who knows? I'll just change that one to be the Game Soup. I don't know. What are our fans called?
I want to say soupies, but I don't want to say soupies.
Soup sippers,
Slurpers. Oh,
slurpers.
that's slurpers. You came up with a better, nicer one, but I'd already got slurpers out, and once it
Slurpers.
was in the air, it stuck. Sorry to all the little slurpers out there. This is who you are now.
Well, I've got some game word ideas from some slurpers on X.
Yes, I've gone to the random word generator.
Yes.
I've got a nice one, which actually
Okay.
relates a bit to X's former moniker.
Oh, well, I have salt, and that is from Riley Quixote? Who knows? I'm sorry in advance. At Gender Shrug. Good name.
I have nest.
Nest. What did I say? Salt and nest.
Yeah.
So, a game where you cook eggs. Next game. No.
Or for some reason, I'm now like trying to think: is there something to do with mashing up the concept of a salt circle and a nest?
This is how you catch fairy birds.
Yeah. Or you are a mother bird protecting your baby eggs from the fae or demons
Mm,
or other things you circle away.
salt and nest. Like, I'm suddenly thinking of like, what if Goblin Country was about like rock people?
Yeah. You are looking for a third prong of the countries.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got Gobolds and Goblins. I mean,
I also realized Goblin Country, but about rock people. We are inventing Hilda. We are reinventing Hilda, right?
yeah, I guess. I mean, rock people in this sort of dyad or whatever this sort of thing is kind of dwarves.
Yeah.
Or is it just like rock elementals, like trolls? But again, that is just Goblin Country. You've been forced out of your home and people think you're a nuisance.
Yeah. I'm now like, what is it like? But if there are like, because rock golems are not like salt golems,
No.
not like rock golems. Rock trolls are not like salt.
Okay, I have an idea that just totally takes us a totally different direction. You are a stay-at-home mother. You have to you have to protect the nest. You have to care for the nest. You're a human, by the way. It's
Okay, yeah.
metaphorical. Except you are also a professional gamer. You are a Twitch streamer. So you have to balance your salt levels with being a
Yes.
popular VTuber or something, with also your children. and caring for the home or whatever.
Okay, so your salt and your nest level have
Yeah,
to be in balance.
it's. I don't understand. I don't know what the gameplay is. Maybe like you are a raider and you've got to like balance like it's a sort of like two dates at once situation in a sitcom, except one world you're raiding dungeons and in the other world you're caring for children. So I think you're playing two games at once here. You are playing at one point you are playing like your D&D, your dungeon crawler, your kill the gobbos, but at the same time you're also playing like the most story game of all time.
Yeah, I initially thought the salt side would just be playing video game, but like you have to manage other things at the same time as you're doing that.
Yeah, maybe it's like a dexterity game where you've got to, like you've got to be like rolling dice and stuff to like keep scoring points at the same time as like role playing scenes or something.
Yeah.
So you got to like split your attention between these two things.
Yeah, I guess it is play a bullet hell game while role playing as a mother.
Yeah, or a father,
Yeah,
or a other parent, or caregiver.
yeah.
But
As someone's Uncle Ben.
yes, well known for being a constant figure in Peter Parker's life.
Oh god, he was 16 by the time. That's like most he's done at that point. He's almost out the oven.
Yeah. Um. So this is too many eggs. The
Too many eggs is probably it.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on this one.
I'm not, but I am now also like, was nest a worse word than I realized? I thought nest would be fun, but I'm actually like, oh fuck, nest is
So
causing me
okay,
so
let's
much.
try and pitch another one then with nest
Oh,
and salt.
yeah, I was gonna say let's add a third word and see what that gets us.
Okay. I mean,
So
we're already struggling with two.
yeah, but I'm like maybe one.
Okay,
Or do
but
you want to replace one? Do you want to replace nest or salt?
I think we try to make another game with nest and salt. I'm
Okay.
thinking like, what if we go back to this thing with like rock people? And is it like a town builder?
Do birds like salt?
Oh, I have no idea. I know nothing about birds. Can birds eat salt? It does not pose a health risk for birds. No, it does not seem to be bad for birds. So, birds can eat salt. There you go. That's
So
the.
maybe you were running a pretzel stand at a public park. Maybe it is a competitive game of one person playing the pretzel stand owner trying to protect all of their baked and salty goods from the nest of birds. And the birds have, I guess, attacks. And it's a war game. It's a war game?
Well, you've sold me now. It's a war game where you play as birds.
Yeah, attempting to take all of the salty goods from the confectioner.
I think it's maybe okay. So I've been recently war game brained, trying to think of a new type of skirmish, a thing for skirmish.
Yeah, this could be a skirmish.
So no, I'm thinking it's like a big table war game. Two sides play with flocks of birds or animals of any description. Expansions include like your foxes and just random squirrels and like
Yeah.
your urban animals.
Yeah.
And then
Bin
you have
rummages of any variety.
yeah, and then you have a third player who is playing the shopkeeper, the pretzel stand keeper. There's a couple different options here. We could have like the lemonade stand, the ice
Mm,
cream, whatever. And then you've got to protect from these two armies of animals on each side, who would do two different players who were fighting each other at the same time. And you protect like the shopkeeper protecting a resource that is helpful for the other two players. and the shopkeeper can win if they scare off all of the pigeons or whatever.
Yeah. Or sell all of their stuff
Sell all of their
before it's
stuff,
stolen.
yeah.
Because then it's like, well, the shopkeeper doesn't care once they've made a sale.
Yeah, they've won. And also the bird players can keep fighting. And I think
Yeah.
maybe we also have like systems where you don't need this third player, like it's automated sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's certainly something here.
War game. We finally not made a deck builder and instead made a war game.
Yeah,
The two sides of Chloe.
pretty much. I've never made a deck builder. Give me a break.
Yeah, but you're such a deck builder person.
It's not even like Slay the Spire isn't even like my favorite roguelike. So look, I've tried so many times to make a Splunky RPG and it's just not happening.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
So yeah,
What do you call this?
I
I
think
like this better than our first go round.
yeah, no, I think it kind of like stretches its arms into that sort of crime plus animal space that Grant Howitt loves so much. With your honey heists and your trash pandas and that sort of stuff.
Mine is kind of like just birds of a feather. That feels a bit weak.
Just something silly like the Pretzel Wars.
Just yeah. Or maybe you just pick the most embarrassing animal for whatever we're doing. I guess like one of these halves is pigeons or seagulls, so it'd be like the
Yeah,
seagull war or the pigeon war,
I like it.
the
No,
war on pretzels.
I'm joining the war on pretzels
On the side of the confectioneer.
on the side of pretzels. Yes,
So I like either the seagull war, the pigeon war, or the war on
the war
pretzels.
on pretzels. It's
War
definitely
on
the name of the
pretzels, yeah.
episode. So, um, yeah. So I think we can move on to a second game or a third
Yes.
game, depending on if we count that weird balancing
We
thing.
didn't give it a name, and I feel it's hard. This is an interesting thing where you're like, oh, this is ostensibly a game design one. That first go round is our first miss, I'd say. I'm willing to call it. Everything else has been a hit. Like, they're
Yeah,
maybe not
episode
all for
6. It took
me.
us to episode 6. We do 2 or 3 each episode. I think that's a pretty good record.
Yeah. We're running a hit parade out here. So I should go back to random word generator.
Yes, and I am not going to pick one from Zach because we've already heard from Zach recently.
I'm not going to pick another food one.
I had a suggestion from one of my friends who's been listening to the podcast. Shout out to Ewan, friend of the pod. They suggested the word trains.
Trains. I was going to pick a word that I'm now not going to pick. The one I was going to pick was driver, and I'm like, that gives
Train
us nothing.
driver.
Train, some kind of train
Who
driver.
conceived of
Okay,
such a
this is a
thing?
better word. Sunrise.
So you're a train driver.
Who is a werewolf
Oh.
and needs to get the train home before sunrise.
Yeah, it's a sleeper carriage. And
Yeah. Or is this... That's the thing. Is the challenge here get train to point? Or is this a game where maybe it is about a sleeper carriage, but you are a werewolf and it's all other people who have to get the sleeper carriage because of weird, fantastical reasons. And it's more a game about populating the train and...
see, I've liked trains always as a setting because it's like everyone has to have a reason to be there. And like you've always got them moving. Like everyone's confined to this place
Yeah.
while it's moving. All I'm saying is more things should have trains in them.
I was about to say, have I ever written anything with a train at all? I think there was a train in Swamp Creature.
There you go then.
Yeah, I think the train there was symbolism, though.
Oh. So yes, you are on a sleeper train. A sleeper, what do they call them?
Overnight?
An overnight train. Everyone's got their little carriages. It's like an old murder mystery sort of thing. And everyone has their reason for being on this sleeper train. be it that they do not have enough money for the daytime one, or they have to be there for a conference the next day, or they have a vampire and can't travel in the daytime.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of, what is the term for people who are like not commuters but people whose work involves traveling a lot of places.
Lorry driver.
Yeah, yeah. It's emotional lorry drivers and people who are too cheap, and then like weirdos, and it's the mixing of all of the. Ow!
My brain is just immediately. Oh, Kayla's hurt herself. Stop the
I
pod.
just oh, I did something on my knee. I feel like it probably is better we call that out. Otherwise, like someone listening to this is like, why does Kayla randomly make a really camp little ow?
Because something has touched you once ever.
That
Is incredibly accurate. Don't at me.
I can't make any offended sound because every offended sound would be in the realm emotionally of a camp little ow, and that would just prove your points.
Yeah. Listen, you can't don't come to conventions and touch Kayla without permission. But you can't touch Kayla without any sort of wow. Wow.
I am outraged at this co-host on co-host violence.
So Sleeper Train, that's the name of the
Sleep
game, I
Train.
guess.
I'm
Is a hidden role game where you're trying to work out if the other players are playing as your cryptid, your vampire, werewolf types, or they're just a businessman getting to Leeds because they have a conference the next morning.
Yeah, I like this. So I feel like maybe this is GM'd, but the GM also plays like the conductor you will hear from time to time. Like they get a character.
Conductor.
Yeah. But then they'll like, I'll tell you all about like the surface level of these people and you're having to make these guesses or whatever.
Yeah.
Are the rest of the players characters or are they just observers?
I think everyone in this game is a character. You're all in the same carriage on this train. You're all trying to work out, is that guy a vampire? Or is he just a weirdo?
Yeah.
But it's like, they don't know if you're also a vampire or a weirdo. So it's like that back and forth. Like, so you ever been to Transylvania? Once for work, my friend.
Oh, that's a lovely necklace. Is it real silver?
Oh no, it is only imitation. I cannot afford the real thing.
Afford, I see. Oh, I was just wondering if you'd like a shed in my garlic and steak bake.
Oh no, I cannot stand steak.
What accent are you doing?
I'm doing a sort of Romanian Eastern European.
Yeah, I feel like it somehow ended up in Italian though. I like this, and I feel this is just because I feel like maybe this is me. I feel like there are no real stakes to finding this out. It's more about your personal satisfaction.
Yeah, it's just a goof 'em up.
Yeah, it is ultimately people who like. You could probably play the game as no one's cryptids. It's just a weird thing. Or you could play it as everyone is.
Everyone's cryptids, but nobody wants to let reveal that they're cryptids in case nobody else is a cryptid here.
Yeah, I feel like actually also that's the thing. Even though you're nominally cooperative, you all get told at the start whether you are or aren't, and then it's.
I feel like it's more fun. Like you spend like 10 minutes talking to each other, and then you have to like sort of do a hidden guess. Like, is this person a vampire or not?
Yeah, maybe actually it's that kind of thing. Like you're just going train by train, and you will jump into characters on each carriage. Not train by train, carriage by carriage.
Yeah.
I
think we've got like a couple cards that you like give to players. Like, you are just businessman. You are vampire.
Yeah, I feel maybe there's like cards which are like the role you have, like human, vampire, werewolf. Blah, blah, blah. And then also cards which are your like, like a brief idea of your character, and like they can match anyway. So you could be like
A vampire businessman.
Or you could be, I mean, like Transylvanian aristocrat, and then you get human, and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'm just playing this as a real guy. Or you get like, traveling businessman, and yeah, then you get like Banshee, and it's like, oh, okay, I've actually got more stuff going on than I realized.
Yeah.
I like this. So card
I
based
like
game,
this.
shuffle them around. Otherwise, it's then just the story talking element.
Yeah. I think this is maybe just a one-pager, but
Yeah, or a deck. A
like
deck
a
and a
zine
little
game or
flimsy
something.
rule book.
Yeah.
I quite like this though. I feel this is a game I'd like to make. Do we just call it?
I'm trying to think of puns to do with coffins, but
Yeah, or to do with trains, railroad. Railroads have stakes, right? That's a thing.
they have spikes.
Oh, that's kind of useless to me.
Yeah.
Railroad, train, spikes, conductor, crossing, locomotive.
We need to stop just naming every game because it just ends up with a minute of just sort of
It
like
is, but
audio.
also I feel like these games are better for us naming them.
Yeah, no, they definitely like get.
I feel like we should maybe just like do a weird cut, like where we go like, what do we call this? And then like a little, and like just a 3 second snippet cut back, and it's like Lycan motive. Lycan motive is bad. I don't want to do it.
Like and subscribe. I'm gonna put in the you doing do,
As
and then we'll
as,
fade back in now.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Lycan motive, train. I feel like the weird. Have you seen Before Sunrise and Before Sunset?
I've heard of them.
I feel like the weird thing of like just popping in on these characters in their lives, like glancing at each other, and otherwise you don't really know each other, is reminding me of that. So part of me is like, oh, do we call it like Before Sundown or something?
I like maybe like Sunrise Sleeper or Sunset Sleeper.
Sunset Sleeper is good.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments if you have a better name.
If you have a raise on it, we'll amend it. We'll amend these.
We don't really have comments on podcasts.
You can leave comments, I think, on Spotify.
Oh, can you?
I don't know who gets them.
Just Spotify.
That's what I'm like. I mean, like, no one's
like...
ever left a comment on Life Path, and I obviously, if anyone has left a comment on Game Soup, you do all of the. I'm
But,
really just
I
here.
don't even know how to look at the Spotify backend,
Yeah.
so.
But you do all of the stuff, whereas I am here for good looks and bad sounds.
Yeah, baby. So that was that one game with the train and the vampire.
Sunset Sleeper.
Yeah.
But our better get named game was the War on Pretzels. We're at a half-hour mark on this one. Do you want to go longer, or are you
I think we can kind of just wiggle our fingers for 5 minutes again.
That's fair. Which game would you rather play? I assumed you'd really like the War on Pretzels. Right?
Yeah, I can see myself making that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's like a big table thing. It's not like a grid-based 8x8 sort of thing. It's like a big table spanning. You have like you use models of like little town squares or something. Like
Yeah,
little,
I don't know
little
enough about war
villages.
games for how many war gamers I know.
We should do a special episode where we just say war game terms at you and you have to work out what they mean.
Or I have to invent them and you don't confirm this, and at the end we have to make a game with all of the terms I've defined. Yeah, I like that. Let's do weird. Let's get wacky. We're on episode 6 now. Let's get funky with it.
Look, these will be the Patreon exclusive episodes.
Yeah, game broth. Game croutons. Game nibbles. Game nibbles, actually, yeah, if we only did like short ones. Yeah. I think actually Patreon episodes are usually way longer.
I don't subscribe to any podcasts on Patreon. The only one I ever did just released the podcast lossless. So
Yeah, I also don't. It's also because, like, I do usually listen to podcasts through Spotify, so getting an exclusive feed is actually not very practical. And also, I listen to podcasts on the train a lot, so not that I get trains anymore, but because I don't leave the house is the context there. Um, I think, yeah, I feel it's an interesting one where, like, I think we're quite similar. I said I think so many times there, but I think we're quite similar people taste wise. But I think the elements where we do diverge is why I'm like, yeah, I feel like Warm Pretzels is a you game and Sunset Sleeper is a me game.
Yeah, I
And
could
so,
see this on your stand at Dragon Meet,
at a
where we'll be
convention,
in
yeah,
2 weeks.
at a
Oh
convention where people are not allowed to touch me without permission.
no. Yeah, get your tickets for Dragon Meet. I
Yeah,
don't know how much they are. I get in for free because I'm selling things there, but
yeah.
um,
I'm on a stall
I'm
with
also on a stall,
different stalls.
different stalls.
Yeah, but I've got a bunch of stuff there. I've new.
Yeah, who you hanging out with at Dragon Meet?
I am on a stall with Laurie O'Connell, Luke at Aethacor, and Kristen, whose releases as Yahan. So I've got like Swamp Creature and Transgender Deathmatch Legend and some solo games and other things. I've got stickers.
Whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
stealing our idea.
Oh, yeah. And also, my best friend is working the stall opposite me and has
Oh.
been informed to yell at me at all times.
I mean, I don't know if they've released the map yet, but I will also be yelling at you if I can see you. So
Fair. I don't think I've seen the whole map. I've seen some people have got their map spots, but once
no.
again, much like the dynamic of this podcast, I have not handled anything relating to the overall getting a
Yeah,
Dragon
so
Meet beyond asking Laurie, "Hey, can I do Dragon Meet with you?" and sending him money when he asked me to. Once again, in this case, I bring good looks, good books, and bad sounds.
hey. Hey, you make good sounds, okay? I'll hear
Oh.
no words against your sounds.
Aww. I'm more meant in a bad audio sense, but it's true. Unless you have a mic at Dragon Meet, all of the sounds are good. But just to reiterate, you cannot touch me at Dragon Meet.
No.
Yeah. Dragon Meet would be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. It's in London. It's at the Novotel Hammersmith, Saturday, the 2nd of December. Yes, I'm on the website right now.
Hell yeah. But also, I do need to make something very clear to any listeners to the podcast who are going to be at Dragon Meet. The Novotel Hammersmith coffee is really bad.
I've never
It's
had it.
don't. It's not worth it. And I have had this coffee 4 times in my life, and every single time I've gone, that was really bad and overpriced. And I do it again. I only been in Dragon Meet twice, but I went to Nine Worlds twice before it shut down, and that was at the same hotel. And the coffee was bad then, and it's bad now. So have some self-respect, is all I'd say.
Thank
Have
you for listening to Game Soup.